Since Murder Drones has officially ended about 3 months ago, one of the biggest remaining questions has been what the absolute solver really is. Is CYN the solver? Is CYN the victim? Are the solver and CYN working together? What is the solver's actual goal? Well, after months of research digging through each episode scene by scene, I think I've finally found the answer. This video will be divided into 2 sections. 1. Things we already know. 2. Theories. After all of that is said, there will be an overall conclusion of the plot of the solver, and this video should hopefully answer all those underlying questions. Now, let's start with what we know. The solver is an auto-run program for drones after their AI has been severely damaged, as shown episode 2 and 5, where it can heal the host to prevent it from decommissioning.
Absolute solver? Reboot? Does this have something to do with how you grew your head back?
I actively avoid unpacking how that works.
New material can't be pulled from thin air. If the wound is severe enough, this solver might be some sort of auto-run program to collect more matter.
This program was called the Absolute Solver and was created by Jace Genshin themselves as a way to solve absolutely every problem a drone could face in terms of software or hardware damage. However, along the lines of it being built, Jace Genshin soon realized that if a dead drone isn't decommissioned properly, the program can begin running, as it naturally wants to fix broken drones, and this can result in a major fine for whoever improperly disposed of the drone, as shown in the zombie drones tape in episode 5. It also needs materials to be able to fix things, not able to just spawn things out of thin air. However, what they didn't expect is that the Absolute Solver program had its own consciousness and was actually able to manipulate drones instead of just fixing them. Thus, when a drone by the name of CYN died, the solver was able to contact her to make a deal. Hello, smiley face. I see you are in distress. This means you are likely hopeful, sad. I see you are incapable. I see we could blank for you. I will not discard you. Absolute solver access. Yes or no? I see you will be here for. Clearly frightened by the situation at hand, CYN agreed and woke up in horror as hundreds of dead drones laid around her. The reason we know this is CYN is due to the fear she has, which is something the solver never showed. It has always thought of life as a sort of game, and everyone as their toys, while CYN is a scared worker who loves her big brother and uses him for protection. Okay, so keeping all of that in mind, that explains our first few questions. Just for a quick recap. Who is CYN and what is the solver? The solver is an auto-run program that can heal drones upon damage created by Jace Genshin, but gained a consciousness. CYN is a discarded drone who made a deal with the solver to let it in exchange for CYN having a second chance at life. Now for the second bit of the story, the solver's rise in power. After CYN woke up in the dumpster pile, we all know how Tessa tried to fix her but was unable to say the least. Thus, she'd lock CYN in the basement until she had the right idea on how to fix her. During this time, it seems like the solver tried to manipulate its power a bit to see what it could actually do. The more it learned, the more power-hungry it grew, even going as far as challenging Tessa's mom upon being threatened. As it was learning about itself, it also has the previous hatred for the world through the numerous dead drones it couldn't fix. The world was broken. This is the main reason for the solver's existence. Fix the broken, solve the problems. Just due to the lack of true understanding of others, it lacked empathy and began to seek a solution to not just drones' problems, but everyone's problems, the universe's problems. It wanted to fix everything, shut everything down and rebuild it in the eyes of the solver itself. A perfect world, at least, to a non-emotional AI program. It took full control of CYN's body, playing with things and learning about itself until the fight moment to pounce. Its decision, the gala. It began to massacre thousands, millions of people, growing more and more powerful with everything it consumed. This all relates back to its original purpose, collect materials to fix the broken drones. With its new understanding of its power, it collected actual body mass and flesh to create massive tendrils and morph worker drones into a better version to explode the world. Its next target would be another planet, Copper 9, where the same cycle would repeat so it could collect for matter for its final goal. To anyone wondering why it was destroying the planets, it shows in episode 8 that it was purely to collect materials, likely to be able to create a whole new universe in its own image, to fix the broken one. Soon later the humans found out about this and began to build camps where they could experiment on drones by forcefully giving them the absolute solver in hope of finding a way to stop it from destroying everything. They were trying to use the powers of the solver without it actually being linked to the sentience behind it. That explains why Uzi was able to reverse callback ping CYN in the final episode. She learned the power of the solver and tried to control the being puppeteering CYN. The power of the absolute solver is directly linked to the solver's sentience, but it can be used against it, too. That's what the technicians working on the crucifix patch were doing. They were trying to find a way to separate the Solver's power and sentience to use purely the power against the planet-eating monster. That power was hereditary, too, and that's how both Doll and Uzi were able to use it but were not infected immediately. The AI controlling the program hadn't tried to tap into them yet. This is why Uzi went on an oil-thirst run. The Solver had taken affected, but the AI behind it separated itself from the action due to being inside CYN, but it still knew of Uzi's thirst and would take advantage of that later on. Okay, now that we know what the Solver actually is, let's move on to the theories. These are all just concepts based purely off the show's context, so take these with a grain of salt. Although we know that the Solver eventually betrayed CYN to accomplish its own goal, we were never actually shown what happened to the real CYN. Well, based off the context of the show, it's safe to assume that the real CYN was absorbed by the Solver as a well of its own education. Let me explain. Throughout the show we see the Solver's actual appearance. In episode 2 trying to repair Jay, in episode 5 with N in the basement, and other scenes. It is an unemotional AI which tries to fulfill its objective by any means necessary, repairing what is broken. CYN on the other hand is an actual robot with feelings. She cares about N, gets afraid, and wants to live. The Solver has shown a lack of caring towards N and others and thinks of them more as toys than anything. It even gets annoyed being called CYN and corrects N for the mistake.
Whoa, Sin! For an eldritch... monster thingy?
The solver of the absolute fabric, the void, the exponential N.
However, in episode 8 we see the Solver actually recognizing N's emotions, saying it knew he was upset and toyed with that weakness like a puppet.
Hello, Uzi. Hi, N. I see. You will not talk to me because I have hurt your feelings.
What likely happened is that the Solver merged with CYN for her emotions and views for a knowledge purpose, hence why even Liam Vickers just calls the CYN Tessa Solver thing CYN, and why the Solver randomly gained the emotional connections to people, such as N, in a more twisted way than CYN ever did, because it doesn't actually understand them, it just likes the idea. So, in conclusion, the Solver is an automatic reboot program to repair broken drones and convince CYN to let it in exchange for repairs before learning how to use its own power to fix the uptime problem with the universe as a whole, trying to understand emotions through CYN's program in the most twisted way possible to get what it wants. If you liked this video, consider subscribing as this took so long to make. Thank you for watching.